For some reason, these videos almost always seem to focus on villains. This is not by design, it just kind of happens. The difference of today's bad guys is that these two are the protagonists of the film. That's right. It's Charlie and Lee from 1964's The Killers. These guys are my favorite movie assassins ever. Hitmen with class. The movie opens with Charlie and Lee gunning down a man named Johnny North. And then on a train, Charlie starts wondering, why didn't Johnny North run when he had a chance? And why did they get so much pay for such an easy hit? He also knows that this guy was involved in a robbery 4 years ago and got away with $1 million. So whoever hired them must be loaded. So Charlie and Lee decides to find their unknown employee and steal his money. I will not spoil the rest of the movie for you, but it is basically them busting heads and interrogate people to find the missing million. And it is just awesome. A little bit of trivia, this was the last film Ronald Reagan was involved in. But we're not here to talk about the former president of the United States. We're here to talk about the main characters. Let's analyze them individually, shall we? Charlie Strom is the oldest and the most experienced of the two assassins. He is extremely intelligent. I mean, I don't think I could have figured out all the things that he figured out given the same information. Imagine him as an elderly Sherlock Holmes with a gun. You also get the feeling that this guy is an old warrior fighting his last battle. He said that he wants to find the missing million so that he can retire, since he is tired of running from the law. He is also very serious. I mean, I never really saw him crack a smile throughout the movie. But still, he's very entertaining to watch because he's such a master planner in everything he does. He can lay traps for people. He's as I said, he's very analytical. Also, this is a guy that knows people. He got connections everywhere in the country. Now, Charlie and Lee, they were not just close friends, they were also mentor and apprentice. Charlie, he tried to teach Lee the ropes of being an assassin. And Lee was Charlie's apprentice. He was only like 28 years old, and he was the funny goofball of the duo. While Charlie was pressing a guy on info, Lee would be in the background breaking stuff, tearing papers, just to make their victim extra uncomfortable. I speculated once with my folks whether Lee had Tourette syndrome or not. But, he probably just likes to break stuff. Oh, and by the way, I think one of the best scenes in the movie is when they interrogate a guy in one of those steam rooms or steam showers. I don't really know what it's called. And Lee turns up the heat, and Charlie says, if you don't want to lose weight in a hurry, you better talk. And then when they got what they came for, Lee said, then there's no sweat, Mickey. Oh man, that's just classic. Overall, Lee is pretty unserious, but he is still a very professional assassin. He's also less cautious than Charlie, which is why I think Charlie has this sound suppressor on his gun, while Lee has just this ordinary handgun. So why do I love these two? Well, first of all, these guys had class. I mean, they had really classy style. Actually, a funny thing, it was actually played for laugh once in the beginning of the movie. they find Johnny North at a school for blind. So of course with their sunglasses they just fitted right in. Yeah, that was fun. Also, they never made exceptions for anybody. They never compromised, if they had to go after a woman or a child, they would do it. There was actually once when they really mistreated this one lady. They hit her and then they, threatened to throw her out the window. And I'm just, holy shit! Yeah, because many times when you make your protagonist, a bad guy, you usually have them be a little bit more noble, like they might treat women or children a little bit nicer. But no, not these guys. They were, hard material all throughout. And really, I personally find it a little bit sexist when, when guys that usually are, killers and baddies, when they treat women so much nicer because, they're women, they're weaker, that's just fucking bullshit. Yeah, that was actually something I respected about them, they treated everyone equal. The only thing that mattered really was who was holding the gun at who, really. Also, these two, they had really great chemistry. I mean, you had Charlie, that was this very serious, cold stone, logical figure, and then you had Lee, that was just this destructive force that had a sense of humor, and they worked off each other really well. When whether they made a hit or if they just talked to each other, they were a really great duo. What more? Oh yeah, in Quentin Tarantino's movies, Pulp Fiction, there is these two hitmen named Vincent Vega and Jules, played by John Travolta and Samuel Jackson. Those characters, they were actually partly inspired by the hitmen from The Killers. So yeah, it seems like Quentin Tarantino had a heart for this movie too. And these characters were a big influence on Pulp Fiction. Yeah, fancy that, huh? Another reason that made these characters seem so real was, of course, the actors. I mean, Lee Marvin, a classic movie star, he played Charlie Storm, and Lee was played by, I hope I pronounced this right, Clu Gulager. Finally, I want to say that the rest of the movie is really good too. It has really great actors, really great, car chases, and it has shootouts. It has a very clever, very pretty complex story actually. But what makes this movie so freaking good is these two hitmen. They are so freaking awesome. And that was everything for this time, guys. Thank you for watching, and see you next time on Character File.